So I want to introduce you guys, before we go to break, to one of my favorite human beings in the entire planet. Lindsay and I first met before I had gray hair. She wasn't married, she had no kids, but what I want you to hear is her story. Because her story, once again, is your story. Because this isn't my makeover, this is your makeover. If you guys weren't here, it would just be Dr. Doss and I talking to each other, which we do all the time. So that would be cool. All right, Lindsay.
Thank you. So my name is Lindsay. My chiropractic journey has been a long one, which I'm happy to say. Been here for 15 years now in Dr. Osborne's office. Thankful for every minute of it, all of his teachings, everything he's taught me over the years has been amazing and really life-changing and saving my life. My chiropractic journey started when I was 16 years old. I was in a car accident. I hit the windshield, wasn't wearing a seatbelt, learned that lesson. And I saw a chiropractor a handful of times for neck pain. That was short-lived, and that was the end of that. So fast forward to when I was 24 years old, I'd been working on a computer for many years. At that point, constantly clicking on the mouse, and that repetitive movement I thought was creating carpal tunnel or something like that. Wasn't sure. Doctors, of course, said, "Oh, no carpal tunnel, you're fine. Why don't you go see a chiropractor?" So I saw a chiropractor for a short period of time again, and that went okay. I felt a little relief, and then I finished my treatment and I was done. I saw a couple other chiropractors during that time because I just wasn't quite relieving the pain in my arm. So, and then I would stop, I would go and stop, and nothing really stuck. Fast forward to when I was 28, and then I just couldn't take the pain anymore. I had to start learning to mouse with my left hand, so that was complicated. But then I found Dr. Osborne, and the first adjustment I had with him was amazing. I just really connected with him. I felt like he cared about my whole body and not just what's the pain in my arm. So that was something I really appreciated. And then a couple days later, he called me after my first adjustment, and he says to me, how are you holding your adjustment? And I was surprised, shocked. Why is my chiropractor calling me a couple days after my first adjustment to check on me? And I was like, okay, this is really good treatment. I really like this office. And then I had explained to him that my father just passed away and that I probably wouldn't be coming back into the office. And he said, no, this is the time you want to come back. And matter of fact, you're supposed to come twice a week, come 3 times a week. Because of the stress and grief and process my body was about to go through, you're gonna need me, trust me. I said, okay, fine. So I did that, and then we connected on the passing of his father, which wasn't, more than 5-7 years before that. So he and I had this instant connection. Fast forward many years in a 15-year journey here. I'm pregnant. I come in to see him during my pregnancy. No pain, no sciatic problems that my friends were having when they were pregnant. He explained to me, come and bring your babies when they're born. I was like, well, why would my babies need to be adjusted? So obviously, lots of teaching, lots of learning going on between this time. My first stop on the way home from the hospital having my babies was to Dr. Osborne's office. So my babies could be adjusted to remove any interference that would possibly be there from the birthing process, which no one would think about really. Well, at least I didn't. So then lots of teachings later, learning about foods, the right foods to eat, learning about everything he said, the 5 essentials, super important. I'm going to fast forward really far now to 2021 when my family got COVID. And by this time I had a wealth of knowledge from Dr. Osborne over the years. And I had been getting my adjustments regularly, me and my children. Unfortunately, I could never quite get my husband on board. He got on board for a minute, but not quite. So he watched me be in great health and my kids in good health and proper supplementation for the kids, etc. But the way that I treated myself when I had COVID and my children versus how my husband treated himself is really, in my mind, telling, because I was okay after 3 or 4 days. I immediately got on the phone with Dr. Osborne. What do? I have the protocol, I'm gonna follow it, I'm doing everything, right? Just reassurance is what I needed. So I got the reassurance from him, I followed everything, and unfortunately, my husband was feeling worse and worse, and so he's like, okay, you're feeling better, let me have some of those vitamins and what you're doing, I wanna do it. And so he started. Unfortunately, you need to take these medications with food, they're fat-soluble vitamins, so you just need to know those things. So I would tell him, eat some food, take your vitamins, let's see how you do. He threw them up, never really got the vitamins in his body. So I don't know that it would have helped him though, because I've been getting adjusted and removing my interference for years, so he hasn't. So I already have better health on my side with that alone. But it led to me feeling better, my kids feeling better, and my husband spent 8 months in the hospital after that. So he was in a coma, on a ventilator, ECMO, everything. Told me he was going to die. The hospital situation was a whole other story, but I would never wish that on anyone. But it just amazed me how well I was able to get through that, and my children too, because I've been supplementing and getting them adjusted, religiously as well. So it's just crazy to see like what could really happen when you don't take care of your body, your whole body. And like I'm forever grateful to Dr. Osborne and Dr. Dawes. He's very helpful. But Dr. Osborne has been there for me in more ways than one. I've called him frantic on the phone. Can you please adjust me? I'm like having a meltdown during the time my husband was in the hospital, and he was there for me every step of the way. And when we say that he is family, he is family. And I owe my life to him, I feel like as well, when he called me that day to say, hey, how was your adjustment? And my father had just passed. I felt like my dad had brought him to me. Like he brought this man into my life to make sure that my children can lead a healthy lifestyle, that I can lead a healthy lifestyle and live to be 100, and not on that nursing home, but on that cruise ship. So I owe everything to him. I love him, and if you have the pleasure of getting adjusted by him and Dr. Dawes, you are very lucky. We are the lucky ones in this room. I just want to say that. So thank you so much, Dr. Osborne.